Hello and welcome to today's video as we preview the two junglers heading into Worlds 2024 finals. Xun and Oner, Wei being the substitute for BLG. So we got some key stats here, looking at their opponents, who they played up against in their respective role, the champions they selected, and also how the teams are approaching draft as far as the role is concerned. So we'll start with this. Gives us some context on what the stats may mean. Both players played 12 games. BLG did play Wei for their first three and then brought in Xun, and Xun has been the starter ever since. Xun being the starter for BLG all of 2023 and spring of 2024. I believe some replacements as well, or at least a part of summer, and then Wei took over, and they went with Wei for, up until that point that we just said. So Xun in 12 games played Peanut and Tarzan quite a bit. I think 7 games combined between the two. Played Yike quite a bit and Junjia. In terms of Oner, he played Canyon and Tian 4 times each. Played Yike 3 times. They actually played Yike twice. And Kuroka and Wei once each. In terms of champs, so Xun played 6 in 12 games. Oner 7 in 12. The only difference between the two champion pools in terms of which champions they selected was that Oner picked Poppy and Xun did not. Otherwise, Skarner, Wukong, Sejuani, Xin Zhao, Vi, and Kindred were picked by both thus far at this tournament. Now, the biggest difference, though, I will say, is that Skarner has been picked by BLG 5 times, and T1 have picked Vi 5 times in the jungle. So the priority on those picks is definitely different. We see over here that T1 oftentimes, because they're on red side, banned Skarner out. So that is a thing. Now, as far as the draft is concerned, BLG have banned Poppy as one of their most banned champions, a flex, triple flex, top, jungle, and support. Whereas T1, like I said, are facing that banning Skarner, but also facing a lot of Sejuani bans at this event. A big pick for T1, and who knows, I doubt BLG are going to prioritize banning Sejuani, but thus far it has been one of the more banned champions against T1. Now, when we look at this set of stats, in the case of KDA, Oner has a slight edge, 3.9 to 3.2. In my opinion, Oner has definitely come into his own at this tournament. Some may say, well, what about the last two Worlds? In my opinion, and I said this last year, Faker was MVP because when he didn't play, the team looked absolutely lost. And then, because of that, I held the other 4 players accountable, because if people want to consider these players elite, then when one is missing, they can't just start losing to really terrible teams and just fall off the face of the earth. That would tell me that they are lost causes without that 5th player. This year, and especially at this tournament, although T1 have had ups and downs for the large portion of the season, at this event I feel like Oner has really stepped up and played extremely well. Kill participation, Oner very active, 77%, where Xun is 73%, so both doing their job, but Oner over 3 out of every 4 kills, nearly 4 out of every 5. T1 has his involvement. CS per minute, Oner more CS, 6.7 to 6, which is interesting because when you look at the damage output, damage share is higher for T1 out of the jungle, but yet the return on investment isn't there. So, in terms of damage divided by gold, Xun is giving BLG more damage than he is receiving in gold. Oner is the opposite. Oner is taking more gold than damage he's giving out. But also we look at their champion pools, Vi being your most played. Vi is not a champion where we're going to deal a ton of damage, right? So that makes sense. And then we look at the case of Skarner with Xun. There are some games where Skarner does deal quite a sizable amount of damage. And then you take that and you look at the damage share, gold share. BLG play a more aggressive style. I'm sure if we looked at kills per game, BLG definitely have more than T1. There are many 20 kill games out of BLG at this event. So 14.5% of the team's damage and 18.5% of the gold, so taking less gold and dealing less damage as a result. But still, those numbers for both Xun and Oner are definitely 4th tier in terms of, allotment of resources. Vision efficiency, Oner a bit more efficient with his vision and his wards, 4.75 to 4.28. Now, 15-minute diffies. Oner does open up quite a lead. We saw after Swiss stage, I identified who I considered to be the MVPs. The All Pros, I think. I think I did an All Pros, did I? I think I may have. Yeah, because I had a couple. Yes, I did. And Oner had a lot of very nice split stats. Like the first lane, I mean, the early game stats were very strong. He and Tien both. Now that Oner has passed Tien, Oner still has nearly a 450 gold lead on average. So every game he would go even. There's a game where he's up 900 gold, which is a sizable component to an item for the jungler. Now, of course, you don't want your jungler to be getting a ton of gold unless you're playing something um, very carry oriented, but still, that early game advantage can snowball. XP difference up nearly 200. When we look at Xun's numbers, average. He's not opening up big gold leads, and he's actually slightly behind in XP. Which, you say, yeah, but he's going around fighting. Yes, if he's going around fighting, then he would get assists, he would get kills, and then he would offset the gold. Gold has to be offset some way against your opponents. But we look here, and we got to say to ourselves, too, Oner did have a filler game against Karoka, where really we look at Xun, he didn't have any filler games at all. Champions played, like I said, Oner and Xun, same champion pools, except Oner has played Poppy and Xun has not. So he's played 7 and 12 and Xun 6 and 12. It definitely makes you wonder how the team would have ended up if they had stuck with Wei. Many people going into this event thought Wei was better than Xun. And then when Xun came in, there was a lot of hesitance. And now we are riding Xun again, like we had the last 15 months prior to Wei taking the starting job. Definitely something very interesting. You're watching people go back and forth and go through the roller coaster of being a fan of a team. That is a thing. And of course, you got T1 fans. I got some in my comment section. They get upset if you don't say their players are the best. Which I think, now that I'm getting a few more subscribers, I guess, and I guess a lot of, people came from K-Drill's chat and things. You get a lot of T1 fans now, and it's definitely a little different, dealing with them. But Oner's played well. Xun is an excellent player, and whoever gets more done, and it seems very simple to say this, but whoever gets more done is going to be the one that succeeds. Can Faker micromanage Oner to get an advantage over Xun? I think he can. Can Faker do that and also keep Knight under control? I don't think the win-loss between Faker and Knight is in Faker's favor. I think Knight might have the edge in the outright win-loss. Now people might say, yeah, but best of fives is it. No, I'm talking about outright win-loss record. But, it's definitely going to be a thing. And these champions, are we really banning stuff out at this point? Or are we just banning out the Skarner and just going to pick which matchups we want out of these other 5? I could see it. A handshake jungle matchup essentially between these two because they've been playing the same stuff. It's not quite like Tarzan was, where he was playing Morgana and Brand and Amumu and things like that, where you could say to yourself, oh, well, this guy is actually an X factor in the jungle because he's playing stuff that the other guys are not. So now they have to respect that. They have to have counters. They have to know what they want to do. Where in this case, I think it's very vanilla between the two on how they're approaching the role in Champion Select. So, it's definitely a thing. So, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.